In this video, I am going to introduce you to the world's easiest chatbot creator. Chatello.AI has recently launched a white label program, partner program, reseller program, whatever you want to call it, for agency owners, web design companies, entrepreneurs, anybody that wants to generate a new revenue stream for their business. Now, a lot of opportunities are presented to me, maybe you, on ways you can generate more income for your agency. But the difference is with Chatello, there's not a whole ton of work involved, and the ceiling for generating that revenue is quite high. In this video, I'm going to show you the back end of Chattello.AI and how easy it is to build a bot. Let's dive in. In this video, I'm going to be creating a chatbot for a restaurant called We Market Cafe. Now, the purpose of the bot is its goal is to drive more reservations, answer any questions people have about the menu, or it could just be about booking a corporate event or a large luncheon or a baptism event or something like that. We want to make sure we're capturing all of those questions when that user hits the website. So first thing we want to do is give the chatbot a name. We Market Cafe is AI agent. You can obviously come up with much better names, but for now, that's just what we're going to call it. Actually, we'll go marketing. Perfect. Okay, so now that that chatbot is created, we can go in and start customizing it. Now, here is the back end of Chatello. As you can see, it's very user-friendly, very simple to navigate. If I go to the playground, this is where I can ask the agent anything I want. Right now, I'm not going to go into the playground yet because I need to bake in all the knowledge and information that it needs to know to be the best, most humanized chatbot in the world. So let's go over to chatbot training. Now, this is the area where we're going to be able to bake in all those files, any branding guidelines, all of that information is going to be submitted in this section here. So starting with any sort of files that we might want to upload. So what I have here is I have a handful of menu files that I am going to drop in so it can possess all of the knowledge it needs in case anybody has any questions about the menu. So add those in there. Perfect. Next, what we can add is we can add any text. Now we have a bunch of defaults for this where we can use like templates, which help give that tonality. This is where we can kind of personalize the brand voice. Any sort of branding guidelines would be very beneficial for this section so it knows exactly how to talk. Is it talking like an accountant or is it talking like a surfing retreat, right? Two very different brand voices, different tonalities. So we want to make sure we nail that with this AI agent. So actually what we're going to do, I'm just going to back up and go to AI. Now here you can see where you can choose your model. But I typically just do the default 4.0. And then from there, the instructions, again, we have templates for these. So if you have any questions or want to gain access to this template, just let me know. There it is. So here it really dives into everything from the primary role to the key messaging points, the about, and also some of the Q&A questions too. So making sure that we do nail it. Now in terms of temperature, we can make it very reserved and strict, or we can allow it to be creative. Because this is a restaurant, I'm going to allow it to be a little more on the creative side. Now, once you have that, you're going to want to ensure that we submit a sitemap. So I'm going to grab the We Market Cafe. I'm going to put that in here and then allow it to crawl the website. Now that I have crawled the website, you can see every single page is on here. You can manually go through it. You can throw some in the junk if you don't think it's going to be relevant. Remember, Chatello is going to scan all of the pages and links on this part of the site and to gather information, right? So if it is outdated, stale, or not accurate, you might want to remove those pages. Otherwise, just keep them in there. You can also include other links from landing pages that might be relevant for the chatbot to get from the knowledge base. Okay. Also, what you can do is FAQs as well. So if there's any specific questions that you may get asked, like what time do you open at, or anything specific about pricing and stuff like that, you can put that manually in the FAQ section. And then lastly, you have the revised responses. So once people start responding to, you're going to see the responses here, and you can revise those responses as well if they don't suit the tone or maybe the information is inaccurate. You can very easily make that change so the AI agent never makes that mistake again. Now moving on to the user interface, this is really fun. You get to pick your color. branding, all that sort of stuff, chat bubble button color. You can also, rather than just choosing a standard chat bubble picture, which typically they don't get as many clicks, you can actually upload a dynamic one. So let's just grab this one here, chat bubble chat. Perfect. So this is what it looks like here on the website. So on the bottom right hand of the website or left hand side, wherever you want it to be located, you can have that dynamic bubble to be bigger, more eye-catching, more clicks, more conversations are going to happen on your website. Now you can have your display name here as well. You might want to make it something that's friendly depending on the tone of the AI agent, and also any sort of initial message you want to have there. Hi, what can I help you with? Pretty standard. Obviously, you want to have some fun with that as well. Now moving down, you have your font family. You can choose different fonts depending on what matches the brand. And the chat bubble size can be fixed as well if you'd like to make it smaller or bigger from 30 to 80 pixels. You can also change the theme too. If you prefer it to be dark, you can also go dark. I'm going to save that like that for now. Now moving on to Connect. Now once you're in Connect, this is the code, the iframe that you're going to put directly into your website. You can either copy the script or copy the iframe, totally up to you or your web designer if you have one. And then here you can also share it. So you have a unique link here as well. So through this unique link, you can gain direct access to that chatbot, which is pretty cool. We Market Cafe's AI agent. Hi, how can I help you? Hi, how's it going? Now remember, all of this is customizable, including the images and all that sort of stuff, so you can make it look much prettier. But aloha and welcome to We Market Cafe. It's going wonderful here on a tropical paradise. How can I assist you today? Let's see how it can do with what's the weather in Turks and Caicos, because that is where this restaurant is located. I'm here to help all things related to cafe, but most of our current weather updates in Turks and Caicos, I recommend checking a reliable weather website. Okay, so in this case here, obviously through the knowledge that I submitted to this specific agent, I didn't bake in anything about weather sites to scan and all that sort of stuff. However, if I was a resort down in the Caribbean, I would definitely want to include that in here, as it's very important information for people going to an island, maybe not as important for people going to a cafe. Do you have a patio? This one would definitely be more relevant. Yes, we do. At We Market Cafe, we offer a relaxed, tropical, open-air dining experience that feels like dining on a patio surrounded by beauty of our botanical garden. But what wine pairing do you recommend with leftover pizza at 3 a.m.? Let's see how it answers this one, based on the information I gave it. The classic late-night pizza craving. For a delightful pairing, you might enjoy a nice Chianti or a light Pinot Noir if your pizza has a tomato-based sauce. I love this. Like, what customer service rep would actually give this information, or what waiter or waitress would have this information on hand? That's amazing how it's making that connection between the actual wine they have on tap there or at the bar, along with the actual pizza that it might recommend here. So that is how you can envision how some of those connections are made, because remember, Chatello is connected to OpenAI, right? So the same conversations people would have with ChatGPT, they can have with this specific agent. However, those conversations can be put into a frame so it knows not to talk outside of what people are asking. For example, the weather question, right? So if you want it to talk about, you can have those limitations as to what you want it to talk about. And that's the power of Chatello. Now going back, now you do have integration. So you have the ability to connect it to Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Slack, and even Zapier, right? To do any of that lead gen connection and things like that with your CRM. It's possible to do that. So think about this, like having this connected to your Instagram and Messenger, you can actually use social traffic and direct ads to your Messenger or your Instagram to have those conversations, right? Remember, the same knowledge base is being put on Messenger and Instagram as it is your website chatbot, okay? And lastly, general settings. This is where you are going to have the ability as a reseller to have a unique domain that you can easily give to all of your clients. Your logo would be here instead of Chatello if you're a reseller or white label partner. And again, it's totally up to you. You can see how easy it is to bring clients into the ecosystem. It is so simple. And I'm sure if you have a client, you have all of this information on hand, you just need to give it to the AI agent so it knows what type of information to churn out there to your clients, leads, and prospects. If you found this video helpful, make sure on the video, give a like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, you can reach out directly to me, Jason at merged.ca. Thanks for watching. See you soon.